Well, I've been excited to do this one for a long time. Cream and Sunshine of Your Love, although it's 4 o'clock-ish and the sun has already set. That's winter for you, but hey-ho. This one uses Eric Clapton's Woman Tone, which I have done a previous video on, so do check that out if you want to get the sound sounding pretty accurate to the record. Obviously a Gibson Les Paul is not necessarily what you hear on that, but even so, you can use your neck pickup and then you can roll off most of the tone, which happens to be this one here on the guitars that I use. Take it off, at the moment it's on about 3 for me. But you can roll it all the way down and you're going to get a pretty smooth, pretty nice sound. We're going to start off at the beginning with our main riff, so let's just dive right in here. I learned so much checking this one out properly, so much that I wasn't expecting to be the way that it was. I mean, I've been playing this song since I started out playing guitar, to be honest with you, and it's just super different to how I would have imagined it was played. So the main riff, the intro, is a sort of single line, single note, with none of the later chords that come. So we start off with the most basic variation on the 12th fret, and it's your D string, because this whole thing is in D. So you start up here, and it's down picks. Now, already there's something to discuss here. So there's 2 fingering options when you're doing this descending pattern. Option number 1, when you're playing this low variant of it, you're going to do this. 3rd finger, 2nd finger, then 3rd finger slide, or sort of replacement I should say, and then you come across. And then you swap that finger over to the first one. So this is how it goes. So that's very, very important. Now the second time, later on, and we'll see this variation of the main riff a lot, absolutely weirdly, Eric Clapton does a 3rd finger, 1st finger, then a 1st finger again, and then he comes up and does. So a 3rd and a 4th on those 12 frets. Bend up. Like that. The reason why he does the 1st finger descend, which it took me a while to work out, was it splits up the notes more clearly. So instead of doing a 2nd finger, the 1st finger replacement, it kind of separates the notes a little bit better. So I do get it, but I never would have chosen to do that myself. So following the tab from the beginning, the main riff starts off, we'll just play it through here for you. Next time it comes round, you're going to use full chords. Now, every live version that you see Eric Clapton play in the modern day, let's say, he does a thumb and this chord shape, which is pretty hard to move. However, for various reasons, which I'll explain later, I think in the earlier recording and some of the early performances, he does a bar chord. Which I actually think is the version that we hear on the record. So assuming that's the case, we're going to stick with the record version and we're going to do a bar chord here. Try not to hit the bottom string too forcefully. That's why I've put that note in brackets. It's more about these 3. The bottom string is there. Brush it. You don't want to hit it too hard. So, because if you look ahead in the tab, going up, you're going to use that 1st finger replacement. Open string. When you're doing that 10th fret there, this is why I think the bar has to be used. Because you can't really do it very easily. It sounds very muddy and messy. So you're going to go for the bar in this version of the song that I'm playing. It comes around again with the bar. And then that 10th fret's there again, which you're barring across to reach. Now, another variation that comes on this main riff here, in the live performances that you see, you see Eric Clapton play this thumb arrangement again, and down here on the 3rd fret. However, on the record, you hear it played up here. So you're going to do it up high with this 1st finger and 3s barring across. That's how I choose to play that chord. You see Eric Clapton very often play it with the 4th finger added in, so you get... And by the way, that 4th finger is going on the octave, so the fingering is like this: 1, 3, 4, 4. Or my version. So we're up there. Then an open D, then you're back to the main. There's a slight variation here. Now it says thumb or 1st finger in the record. You can do it with the thumb, but I think that because the barring has been so common in what I hear, we're going to stick with the 1st finger for this little turnaround. The only exception to that is the time it comes round next. You're going to use your thumb because you need to hit that bottom 10th fret, which is a D, and then bend this 10th up with your 1st finger. You can't do it with the bar very easily anyway. This is quite straightforward. You're using a sort of open A with your 1st finger, down, up, down. Then you're just doing a pure power chord here on the C, and you hit it again whilst you release, like that. And then you do a thumb over, which means that your 4th finger can stay in place, and you do your normal chord shape for your main bar chord, but with the thumb. So you do the same thing again, hit it again while releasing, so it sounds like this. And make sure that you keep that 4th finger down, because that's the kind of reason why you play the power chord into the thumb arrangement, is that doesn't need to move. You do that around 3 times. And then the 4th time round, you've got this pattern, which is the repeating chords. Then you pause there and come back up to this bar. When you're doing those double 12ths again, remember the 3rd and 4th finger. The 2nd time round, 10th fret comes into play, and then you keep doing it round and round 2 more times. And make sure you include that 10th fret on the 3rd and 4th time. We're moving on to page 2 of the tab. We're just going to crack on here before we get to the solo section in this part 2 of the video, because there's a lot of repetition here. A few little variations though. So at the start of page 2, you get the change up of the chord. And then a very quiet open D string back to this main riff. And then this is an interesting one. You play that open A before you hit this repeat here. So this comes around 3 times, this pattern. and then it does this repeated long section. So you don't play that final one there, that's why I put it in brackets, because you're about to hit the solo section here. So you start off on the 12th fret, nice vibrato on the bend, and then make sure you're careful with that bend in the brackets there, so you don't bend up to it, you just have it high. Slide down to this 9th fret here, and then next bit is like this. And this is where it gets super weird. So you're bending up to the 12th fret from the 9. And then it bends higher. Then down to this 10th with a 4th finger. 7th. Then you pause. Make sure you pick that 7th fret twice, and then you slide up like this. So first finger slight bend with a vibrato, then pull off. That's a really nice little note there. I love it. It's kind of like a breaking out there as you go onto the 3rd page of the tab that I've written out for you. So you played. And then you do this. Then it gets quite quick. And then this is a very odd pattern. So you're hammering on 10th fret and then you're barring them. So you put the 2nd finger there. And then it's... And then I didn't ever get this right until really studying it. 13th fret bar. So that's how it ends with the hammer on. And now, if you're going to play the next part, there's a sort of overdub moment here, so really there's a bit of editing going on in the record. So if you're going to play on, you need to use the 4th finger to go back into the bar. But if you're going to fall back into it, you just sort of pause and then drop back into... So let's assume that we do play on. We're going to do it like this. So that carries on 4 times here, and there's just a few little variations. So the first time you have the open string, the next time you pause, then the next time you hit that 10th with the bar. Then this 5th time here, change to that next chord. That takes us to the last bit, the final page of our tab. So this bit comes around again. Back to this outro section now. So we're just diving into this very last section, the power chords. Like this. Now previously we've played a 2nd pick. This time you don't bother. So you play that around 5 times, and then the last section here is a little bit tough. So you're doing this rhythm for ages. And it keeps going. So that's when it gets interesting. And then it goes back to... So that's the rhythm. And then the next bit is... That's the very last time. And that's fading away gradually, and will fade away as well on this video. That was the outro to Cream Sunshine of Your Love. Thanks for watching this whole series. If you've enjoyed it, then we can do more Cream. I've got the Layla t-shirt next door, so that's coming out soon. Yeah, it really slides at the end, super weird. Anyway, do sub to us and you won't miss that video and any of the other ones we're doing as well. A few recommendations up here, but in the meantime, peace out, thanks for watching.